Hello, Marty Nichols. If Sutton's law logically leads to physicians owning a bank holding corporation, the obvious next step would be for that BHC to own its own bank. Two of the most famous entrepreneurs to emerge from the robber barons, J.D. Rockefeller and J.P. Morgan, realized that if you had a lot of capital or float, it obviously made sense to monetize that capital. They moved from being known as robber barons to being known as the Four Horsemen of Banking, or some called them a cartel. They owned Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo. Not a bad portfolio. They went on to control, through this BHC, companies such as ExxonMobil, Shell, BP, Chevron, and Texaco. The hits just kept coming. But as John Morse pointed out in his article, their monopoly over the global economy didn't end at the edge of the oil patch. According to companies' 10K filings, the Four Horsemen of Banking were the top 10 stockholders of virtually every Fortune 500 company. Vertical integration at its finest. What they understood was that money begets money by simply monetizing the float. And while many now say that Warren Buffett is the king of float, I would challenge this and say that Warren Buffett is the king of capitalizing off of the float. So, how does all of this come together and apply to you as a physician? If Warren Buffett is the king of capitalizing off of float, physicians are the king of generating the float. Today's specialties, such as MSK, realize a 60% overhead, meaning that you're only benefiting from less than 50% of the capital that you earn. And who benefits from monetizing the rest of that capital? Your bank, or actually, simply the bank that you bank with. Now, many of you will say, I trained to be a doctor, not a banker. That's true. But hospitals and banks have a lot of similarities. Large hospitals don't care about you or your patients. They only care about the revenue that you and your patients generate for their profitability. They then use that capital to lobby the federal government and enact legislation that prohibits you from owning these very hospitals that you generate the revenue for. I guess they do this to save you from losing money on every case, just like they do. So, your solution was the ASCs. Doctors developed better surgical techniques, focused on the patients, and moved these procedures to an entity that you could own, thus allowing you to make money for something that you were doing anyway, which was simply treating patients. Banks also don't care about you, your business, or your patients. They care about the revenue that you float through their business. Interestingly enough, there are no regulations stopping physicians from owning their own bank and monetizing your own capital. We at PF Bancorp have taken the lessons learned from your ASCs and have built a better banking model, allowing all physicians to come together and monetize your capital. And just like your ASCs, we can do it better. By simply focusing the bank on you, your businesses, and even your patients, PF Bancorp can provide you revenue through ownership for doing something that you do anyway, banking. It's time physicians band together, join PF Bancorp, and start to create a better future by simply monetizing the capital you are creating for others. The solution is obvious. It's your capital. Own it.